Good evening, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we'll be sharing the backtester with everyone. In today's video, we'll also show you how it works, how you can use it. So it will basically be an instruction video regarding the backtester. I've already shared some information about how it works and what you can do with it. But in today's video, we'll really dive into how we as a group will use this to our benefit. So I'm expecting everyone that can and has the time to do some backtests to help us gather the results and data that we need to improve our agent tables. So I have done some backtests yesterday, and I will share those with you guys, go over the results and actually see what we can learn from this, because there is a lot of things that in the agent tables, in the strategies that I've shared with you guys, that we can definitely improve upon. But also this will help you to understand how these agent tables will work on certain data that we project to come in the future, right? Or some price action that we're expecting to come, right? So I think it will be very helpful for you to understand, like, okay, if I activate this or that strategy or agent table, how will these agents perform in this market data? Now, a lot of you might question, okay, what separates your backtester from anything else, like backtesting on TradingView, or there is a lot of backtesting possibilities. I personally have not seen any backtesting done on tick data. So what does that mean to do backtesting on tick data? So as you guys know, our software does high frequency trading, so it tries to complete, or you can complete a lot of trades within a short time frame. In order to get very accurate results back, you need to have very accurate backtesting data. And this is what other providers do not give you, right? So normally you do backtest on either hourly candles, 4-hourly candles, daily candles. And if you have a very good backtester, you might be able to backtest on 1-minute data. Our backtester works on tick data. That means that we take the data ourselves from TradingView using the 1-second data pools. Okay, so now what is the limitation with this? Why do other people not offer this? The limitation is that every 20 minutes you'll have to pull data from TradingView. First of all, you need a Pro or a Premium Plus account on TradingView, but second of all, in order to get this very accurate price data from Bybit, you'll have to do this every 20 minutes on TradingView, and then basically cut and paste these data sets together. Now I have about 20 data sets with a lot of data in them, so millions and millions of ticks of data. But I don't have everything for you guys, right? So we have set up currently a system that will pull every 20 minutes the data, and from now on we'll try to gather every data or all the data that we can for now. Okay, in order to get the historical one, I think the price for a full tick database for Bybit is about $10,000. Okay, so we can try to get there at some point, but for now, I have a lot of data sets that I will share with you guys. So let's just get into the backtester, how it works and what you can do with it. So as I said, the first big difference is that the data, that the backtest results will be very, very accurate compared to any other backtests. The second one is, of course, our whole system is designed differently, where we trade using these agent tables. Okay, so our backtester will allow you to input your agent tables and basically choose a time series, and a time series is basically a data set with price and time data, so basically a chart, and you'll be able to backtest your agents using this time series that you have picked. So now I have done a couple of backtests. Let me get to the backtester first. This is the backtester, and I'll be sharing this with you guys in Discord in the Get Backtester channel. Okay, so as soon as this video drops, it will be live in here, and you guys will be able to use that. So in this backtester, you can see there is a couple of folders. The main and most important ones will be the results and the time folder. So as I said, you will need a time series in this folder in order to run the backtest. Also, you will require an agents.csv file in your backtester. This file contains the agent table that you're trying to backtest for. Right? If you look at my results currently, I have done a backtest prior to this, where I have done where I inputted 4 time series and I used an agent table that, let's have a look. I don't. Oh, it's the one with the stop loss, by the way. And we can have a look at the results of that if I'm correct, because I did remove some things, but I think that should work. And we're going to go over how you can do that yourself in a second here. Let's just quickly take the results out. Item. Okay, so we get a little chart and we are able to see where the agents have taken an entry. Okay, so let's enlarge this view here. And you guys can see that there is lines drawn from entry to exit. Now you can take this glass and zoom in on certain chart areas and you can see the amount of trades. The orange lines represent stop losses. The red lines represent completed shorts, which we don't see in this particular scenario. And the green lines represent completed long trades. Okay, so you can see a line being drawn between a completed trade. And again, a completed trade is an entry and an exit. Okay. So we can see directly that there is one agent that's really sticking out in regard to the trade that it has taken, and it's this big green trade here. And if we hover our mouse over this green line, we can see that this command shell starts printing the name of this agent, which is lspread entry 1, which opened the long entry at 32,500 497 and closed at 37,496.5. Okay, you get a fitness score, which is not really useful for now, but you get the name of the agent, and this will be really helpful because then you can start looking at your chart and looking for agents that continuously take stop losses or that visually are clearly doing better than the rest of them. And so this is one part. You'll get to graph your results and have all the agents represented on this graph. It's a little bit tricky on finding which one you want. So the next thing you can do is go into the results and actually open the results.csv for the first results. And you would have to do that in Excel, but I have Visual Studios installed, so I'm opening it up slightly different. But as you guys know, you can import CSV files to Excel, just like you can export CSV files to Excel. And what you will get here is an overview of all your agents and how they have performed during this session. So if we zoom in, we can see that this is the lspread entry that we were talking about. And if you read this profit field, so the first field is the agent ID, of course. The second one is the profit. The profit is over all the trades that it has taken, and it will be represented in a Satoshi value, so a Bitcoin value. And if you see this minus 0.5, that means that there is 5 zeros before the actual value. Okay, so you can see how small the values actually are. So a 6 is a smaller value than a 5 because there is 5 zeros before the comma, and here there is 6 zeros before the comma. Okay. And if the values are big enough, you'll just see a Satoshi, so a 0.00. So from 4 zeros onwards, you'll see actually Satoshi values. Okay, so just know that the profits are represented in Bitcoin values, and you can see also the losses are also, if they're big enough, represented in a Bitcoin value. And on the lowest two rows, you can see a summary of the total profit of this session, which is 0.0011 Bitcoins. And you can see the maximum cumulative drawdown, which means what was my loss at the worst time. Okay, and that's also a really important one to keep an eye on. And basically that's what you get. You get a very clear profit statement where you can see per agent how important they were for the profits that were made. And now, as you guys know, different agents have different amounts as well. So for your backtest, what you prefer to do is give every agent a similar amount so that you can really see which agent is just doing better in locking in spread or profits for you. The average drawdown is basically how much on average did I risk in order to gain my profitable trade. Okay, so it's just a drawdown that your agent had during the trading before reaching a target. So a drawdown is basically the loss that you have before reaching your target. Then you have the average spread. It's in percentages and it's basically a movement in price, right? So how much did price move on average for you to lock your spread? So a big average means that this agent was aiming for big exit targets. Okay, so you can see 1%, 1.13%, 1.06%, and both of these agents also have a bigger profit, as you can see, because it's in Bitcoin values and there is not a lot of commas before the zero here. Okay, so these two agents were very, very important in that regard. Another thing you can see is the average duration, but I wanted to skip that for a second because it's also really important to see how many trades they've completed. So these particular two agents, they were only able to complete one single trade, which is fine because that one single trade was still worth more than, for example, the one above it, which did 78 trades but ended up with a loss. Okay, so you can definitely look what the difference is between this 2.4 agent and the 2.5 agents in this scenario. Okay, so this is really where you can see, okay, this particular agent has a deficit in its settings, and I can adjust maybe certain settings to make the performance better, optimize the performance pretty much. Okay, and there's also automated ways to do it, but I think this will be the best way to go about and really improve your order flow when you're entering and exiting. And so the number of trades is basically the amount of completed trades. So how many times were you able to buy and sell back what you bought, or sell and buy back what you sold. Then the average duration, I think this is in minutes. So yeah, you can just see how long did the trades last per trade on average. And this is another thing that, for example, if you're trying to do high volume trading, yeah, it can be really nice to see how much, how long an agent took to reach its take profit. And based on that, you can start adjusting certain settings in your agent table. So this is just the very detailed overview that you'll get per strategy that you're looking at. So this was the first one that we were looking at right now. We could see that we had our mouse over this one and it was L spread entry 1, and we can see that that's this particular guy. He managed to do 7 trades and let's see, ended up with a pretty nice profit. So this way you can see which agents are performing well, and let's see this one, for example, the one that took a stop loss, it's 2.7, and we can see that's here, and it was a loss. So you can see that most likely the ones that end up with a loss are the ones that had a stop loss that was too tight and an entry that wasn't great. Okay, so these are the things you can start learning. Let's just go over to the next one. Look, it opened up on the screen. Let's bring it forward. There we go. I had the same time series 2 times, so I had to close that off quickly. Let's open the third one because the second one is the same. Okay, so this is a way different data set. Here you can see that we're trying to take longs and stop losses, and the price is just dropping from 53,000 down to 49,000. And in this scenario, of course, you're not going to do too well with a very long bias. And that's where you can see here you end up with a loss and also a big drawdown. And yeah, for these agents also you can look at the ones that did profit, which are basically your take profits on the it's basically a couple of counter trends and grandchildren that were profitable. So you can start getting into like, okay, why were these grandchildren profitable? We can maybe have a quick look at that. Let's open up the table. Let's see if I have those. Yep. So we have the grandparents, grandchildren here. And what we can notice is that the spread is just bigger. And I think that's the main difference that makes them profitable. It's the third layer. They have prevent entries on, which is also something that the others do not have. Okay, so this is really helping them, and I think that's a really good thing to notice, that the prevent entries is on, so they're listening to the RSI, so they're trying to buy below 34 RSI and with a huge offset. So that's what's making that profitable, and that's something we can learn from those trades. And yeah, I think that's how you can use the backtester and start trying to find the result that you want. But just to make it a little bit more clear, we're going to try and set up our own backtest. What I need to do for that is I removed the other three time series, so I left in a small one just so we can get this done quickly. And I'm going to have to replace the agent table just so we get a different view. And how I will do that is just go to my agent tables here and import a new one. So let me find my agent tables here. Okay, so here's the folder with the agent tables. We're gonna pick a basic table. Let's do a short ping table. Okay, so I'm gonna drag my short ping table. Oh. I don't per se have to do this. I can also just do it like this, where I have my backtester and I just copy this one in. And now I of course need to remove the agents.csv. Let me just quickly copy the name, and then I can delete the old agents.csv, and I will have to rename this one agents.csv. Okay, so this is the important thing, guys. You have to name your agent table agents.csv for the backtester to understand that this is the table that you want backtested. Okay, so then it goes to the top, agents.csv, and the time has to be called time1. If you want to test on multiple time series, the next one should be called time2, time3, etc. Okay, so the naming on the time and the agents.csv is very important. It has to be correct. And I think we have a couple of backtests that it's going to show us. We're not really interested, so it's another bearish one. And one of these will also be the one that we will be backtesting on this new agent table. So we currently it's the short ping table that's in here, and we're going to start and backtest that. So let's go. The steps to backtesting are as follows. We first we need a time series. So time 1 if it's only one time series. Okay, if you add another one, it's time 2, time 3, etc. We currently only have one. Then we need an agents.csv file in our backtester, in our main folder. And the next thing you want to do in your folder, in your main backtester folder, you want to select over this text right here at the top, and you want to remove that and type cmd, press enter. That will load this black command window. Let me bring it forward. Okay, so that will load up a command shell. And what you want to do as here as follows is type Python backtester.py. Okay, so Python backtester.py, and actually when you're in this command shell, you only have to type the first couple of letters and it will recognize the rest. So type Python BA and press on tab, and it will finish the entire sentence for you. Then you can press enter. And now, guys, you'll start to hack the market, because the first time people see this, of course, they'll think, wow, I'm basically hacking the market. And pretty much you are, guys. You're take data, you have your entry strategies, you can prepare on which data sets you want to practice your entries and take profits on, and then you can start your backtest and start improving your agent table to be so so powerful on the data sets or on the price action that you're expecting. For example, let's say that you want to create a long agent table. You just pick some long scenarios or some scenarios where we are going towards a low and a reversal point, and you keep practicing and improving your agent table to that pretty much. And in the meantime, our backtest has finished because it was a pretty small data set. We can see that there were 10,000 data points. So let's go. It's finished. And what we want to do next is, of course, now there is new results in the results folder, and we can do the graph results. So what you want to type next in this window, you can do that. You want to type Python graph and then a capital R and tab, or type results.py, and you want to press on enter. And it will start opening up your trades for you. Okay, so you can start. You can see that the short ping table in this kind of downtrending market was doing pretty well. We can see a lot of trades completing. The targets could be a little bit bigger. Okay, so I don't see any agents that are per se getting the highs to lows. Maybe these two here. So you can see again, it's grandchildren that are doing really well. So 11, 4, 8. And next thing you want to do is go into the results. Oops, seems like the old results remain there. So we want to remove those later, but these are the results for the short ping tables because you can recognize the names, right? So it's the new results that we just backtested, and you can see it was profitable. Yeah, drawdown was there, but not immensely, because no stop losses were taken. So all these trades were of course profitable. We have tons of trades completing, and based on this you can go into the results and see like, okay, which agents are clearly outperforming or doing better. And a way that we will do this as a group is to give all the agents the same amount, so that we can actually see which ones are performing better with the same amount of dollars. Yeah, this is the backtester, and like I said, you can select this upper window, type CMD, press enter, and from here you can either type Python backtester. So let me enlarge this. You can either go for Python backtester.py, okay, or you can go for Python graph results.py. Okay. And graph results will give you your actual results for this trading session like this, right? And I think that was it for the first video. We'll need to do a lot more of these videos because we kind of need to strategize for this. I have a lot of time series for you guys, yeah, I think we need a good strategy to, as a group, work on this and get the best results that we can. These backtests take a little bit of time. So yeah, it's great if you guys could also do some backtests on and design some of your own strategies and see how those work out, or at least modify some of my strategies and see if you can improve those. I'm sure you can, and we'll go from there. You can find the backtester in Get Backtester, and in the next video I will have done more backtests and share those with you guys. I have a folder, but I don't want to make this video too long, so we'll get into the backtest that I've done and the things that I've found out using the backtester. And guys, I've backtested most of our long tables, and man, there is so many improvements we can do. So yeah, excited to get into that. I hope this was clear, and if not, please feel free to ask your questions, and we might be able to do a better video in the future on the backtester. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.